In 2025, Klarna CEOs managed to get rid of 1,200 SaaS vendors. And he did that thanks to AI. His team managed to build internally other tools to replace all those vendors. And his company is not the only one doing this, obviously. In February 2026, the company Jefferies coined the term SaaS Apocalypse. And that was in the wake of a stock market crash for SaaS companies where over $1 trillion worth of market cap got completely wiped out. So why am I talking about this right now? Well, the reason I want to talk about this is because, as I'm sure you're aware of, people are freaking out about SaaS is dying. And in my opinion, there's nothing further from the truth than that. SaaS is not dying, but I think SaaS is going through a very interesting restructuring phase at the moment. I want to discuss about that today. So, what SaaS is going to survive, what SaaS is going to die, let's just dive in. To understand this, we need to start with the SaaS business model up until AI come in the picture. The SaaS business model was about building versus buying. It used to be very expensive to build your own custom solution. Expensive in terms of manpower, in terms of infrastructure, and in terms of ownership. And this is where other companies saw that as a perfect business opportunity to scale their operation in the cloud, focus on a specific niche, and at that point offer a turnkey solution in the cloud. You don't have to worry about anything. You just have to pay per month or per seats. And that's when companies like Salesforce made a fortune. Then comes AI. AI comes, and all of a sudden, the cost of building solutions start to drop dramatically. And this is where we're at the moment. This complete panic that SaaS is dead. But the truth is that AI cannot recreate everything. Like AI cannot recreate huge infrastructures like AWS or Stripe. I'm sure that if you are already using AI to code your own solutions, you're using Vercel, you're using Cloudflare, you're using Stripe, and you're not thinking about, oh yeah, I'm going to replace Stripe or I'm going to replace Cloudflare or AWS. So you can see that in this situation, those players have massive new opportunities to grow. Whereas other SaaS that only focus on visual dashboards or simple user interfaces that simplify like interacting with data, well, those companies are probably in trouble. So the truth is that, as I've said, a company like Stripes, Cloudflare, Datadog, CrowdStrike, they actually have seen their revenues increasing in the past few months, simply because there's more and more developers or more and more non-developers that start to build their own solution, and they still need Stripe, they still need a database to host their data, they still need security assistance with CrowdStrike. They still need like a denial, protection against denial of service. So that creates a lot of opportunities for certain companies, and at the same time, the SaaS that are only built on thin layers are in big trouble. And this is as simple as that. So really, SaaS is not dead. The other amazing opportunity that there is for SaaS is that very soon, actually this is already happening, we're gonna have this new ridiculous abundance of a new type of customers, which are AI agents. And this is now a very interesting time because existing SaaS have this new opportunity to start to build for a new type of this new type of customers. And my prediction is that they're going to become the dominant type of consumers and completely replace humans in the next 10 years. So maybe it's time to stop worrying about user interface, dashboard, usability, accessibility, because very soon this is not going to be a problem anymore. Of course, we'll still need that. There'll still be like some generally bespoke need for human user experiences. But I think that the new huge opportunity is to start to build for AI agents. So if you are working at a SaaS company, or if you're an investor in a SaaS company, I think the first thing I'll do is play the disappearing game. That consists in asking yourself honestly, if your SaaS was to disappear overnight, would your customer be able to replace you in a very short period of time, rebuilding your features using AI tools? Because if you're honest about yourself, and if the answer is yes, then I think you're in a bit of a trouble. When it comes to thinking about the future of SaaS, if you're thinking building one or investing in one, I think that there are probably 4 aspects that you should keep in mind moving forward. The first one is probably focusing on the hard stuff. Anything that has to do with compliance and regulation is actually very defensible, because that means that if you can go through those hard stuff and get compliant and get regulated, it'll be very hard for an AI to accomplish this. And at that point, you can become an infrastructure for the AI, which has, like I said, a huge upside. The other thing is you may start to think about accepting AI agents as your main consumers. And in my opinion, in the next 10 years, there'll be more AI agent consumers than there'll be human consumers, with the downside that there'll probably be microtransaction rather than high margin transactions. But what that means is that you probably need to make sure that the way you design your system is less focused on user interface, dashboard, accessibility, and more focused on scalability, reliability, discoverability. Make sure that your API is very clear, very reliable, well documented, discoverable via things like MCP, so for Model Context Protocol, or skills. Skills are becoming a big thing at the moment in agentic programming. So really start to think about AI agent as a serious business opportunity. Number 3 is to trying to see how you can design your SaaS in a way where the more usage you have, the more data you generate that can make your SaaS even more valuable. A good example, the analogy in the traditional SaaS would be user-generated content. Obviously, the more user-generated content, if that entice other users to join, this is like the mechanic that you're looking for, and see how you could do that with AI agents. And finally, anything that has to do in trying to become an infrastructure for AI is very good news. Think about Cloudflare, AWS, Stripe, all those companies, Vercel, all those companies obviously will have massive upside in the future, because no company is thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to rebuild Vercel, I'm going to rebuild AWS. Like, it's not about that. At that point, AWS is still cheaper than you going and rebuild your own data center. So if you can become some form of infrastructure for AI agents, this is also like an amazing business opportunity. So as you can see now, like, there are actually a tremendous amount of opportunity for growing the new generation of SaaS businesses. I also think that the way businesses are going to start to be structured is going to be completely disrupted. At the moment, we're in this weird transition where you can see that legacy companies or incumbents are trying to fit AI within the existing human structures of their companies. There's not yet like a huge org chart change beside headcount freeze or massive layoff. But I think what's going to happen is that the new startups are going to be like very, very, very lean, and will have very, very different org charts than what standard companies have had for like over a century now. So we're going to start to see like extremely exciting and innovative company structures, and in where new opportunities are going to emerge, because with those new structures, I think new needs in synchronizing services and synchronizing work are going to emerge. Like problems that don't even exist now. And I think that those opportunities will become the new infrastructures for businesses that AI will be able to leverage to build completely new companies that we've never seen. We've been talking for a while of the first billionaire solopreneur. I mean, this will happen for sure. But I think that what we'll most likely see first is the first billion-dollar company made of 5 people or 3 people. And then a plethora of other smaller companies that are not billion-dollar companies, but maybe like hundreds of millions of dollars worth, that are still also extremely lean. So I think this is the future of SaaS. SaaS is going to fit. So we're going to see, in my opinion, a complete restructure of business organization in which we're going to need new services that will be AI design first, and this will be the new opportunities for SaaS. So if you can be one of the SaaS that will fit into this vision, I think that the business opportunity is ridiculous. So no, SaaS is not dead. It's being restructured, and around it, many other things will be restructured. And during this very disruptive phase, I think that obviously there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of uncertainty, but moving forward, I think there's also a lot of opportunities. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understand a bit better the relationship between AI and SaaS. If you have any questions or thoughts you'd like to share, please drop a comment. And if you want to know more about AI and how to be more productive with those tools, consider subscribing. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the next one.